Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Here at Fields & Brown Barbershop, legacy means a lot. We're trying to fill big shoes left by my two uncles and my grandfather, where every haircut came with conversation and every customer left a little taller than when they walked in. The barbershop is about pride. It's about knowing your barber knows your name and your story. Come see us at Fields & Brown Barbershop, where tradition never goes out of style. 3 generations, 1 legacy, your barbershop.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we've provided outstanding residential and commercial services through Southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence. A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Builtwell Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Builtwell Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Builtwell Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome to X Sports Today. It's our football preview show. We've taken kind of a couple days off. Unfortunately, my kiddos are sick. Of course, I've got a 3-year-old and an almost 9-month-old, so of course they're sick all the time. Let me adjust the cameras. Let me zoom in a little bit. You know, don't have 3 people with us. You see our pretty faces, all the fun things. But Mike, we've got a huge week of college football coming up here, but first, Mike, let's get right into it. We've already talked about what happened last week. Let's get into this week. Start off first with the team on your shirt, man. Tennessee at Mississippi State. Vols coming in 3-1, 0-1. The SEC. It's the first SEC game for Mississippi State. They've got that really good win at home against Arizona State. Really haven't been tested much beyond that. We all know Tennessee should have beat Georgia. So. I mean, I really, don't know what kind of to expect with this. In my heart, I'm thinking, okay, this is the game Tennessee should dominate. They do have the better team here, but, Mississippi State they're not slackers at all.
I kind of try to look at, their rankings and some stats to try to to gauge this, but it's kind of hard to gauge because, well, Tennessee's had a game against Georgia. Mississippi State has played, three small non-conference teams that kind of, maybe inflate some stats. But I really do think this game's going to be one of the trenches because we know the talent that both teams have at quarterback, what they have on the outsides. It's really what they're going to be able to do, running the ball and stopping the run, that I think is going to be the big difference in this one.
I think Heupel needs this. He needs to prove he can win a game like this on the road.
He needs a big, kind of a butt kicking on the road because
Exactly.
he hasn't been able to do that.
Non-Vandy butt kicking on the road.
Yes, because he hasn't done that yet. Even like those first couple years against Kentucky, those were close games. So he needs one that he can say, okay, this Mississippi State team is a whole lot better than they were last year. Hey, this is the one we got this one.
Remember, they stumbled against a bad Arkansas team. That win at Oklahoma wasn't exactly impressive by any stretch of the imagination.
But that was when we still thought Oklahoma was good. Looking back,
but you need to just go in the Starkville.
Yes.
Forget about the whiteout. Forget about the Cowbills, and just go in there, hang 50, walk out as the champions, play Rocky Top, and get back to Knoxville as quickly.
Well, the good thing is they're going to wear their orange jerseys on the road. It doesn't happen a lot. Obviously,
you should wear the grays.
Yeah, I would say.
I think like they did at LSU a few years ago.
I think they maybe want to match their whiteout with a blackout. I don't know, but Tennessee will be wearing a home uniform because Mississippi State's wearing a white uniform at home. So maybe that will change for it. Obviously, Tennessee plays a lot better in orange uniforms, but that's usually because they're at home. So maybe that'll play into it.
Another big SEC game. We actually got a bunch.
Yeah,
the 2:30 game. LSU at Ole Miss. I don't know, Mike. This is giving me Georgia and Ole Miss feels where I felt throughout the week this isn't good for Georgia. Then I watched some of the pregame coverage. I watched kickoff. I was feeling the vibes from Vaughn Hemingway Stadium in my house.
Yep.
First couple drives, I went, Ole Miss is walking away with this, and that's what they did. And I'm getting the same feel out of this game right now. Ole Miss is 2-0 in the SEC. I know LSU is 1-0, but I'm getting a lot of just. This plays into Ole Miss's hands big.
Yeah, I think it does big time because obviously we've seen nothing from LSU's offense that gives us any sort of indication that they're going to be doing anything different, better, because obviously Nussmeier hasn't looked good. Caden Durham's doubtful for this game. They're running back, so they're going to be missing some pieces there. And then Ole Miss has found a diamond in the rough with their transfer quarterback Trinidad Chambliss from Ferris State. A Division II guy that's come in and how has this guy been in Division II that long? If his fifth year now here at Ole Miss, and man, he's really made them turn this offense completely around and kind of looks like a Jackson Dart kind of guy.
Yeah, I think LSU's got too many questions offensively. They haven't solved anything. They weren't all that impressive against the FCS team, Southeast Louisiana. I just think it feels way too much like what Georgia was when they went in there a year ago. This might get ugly. Ole Miss is 1.5-point favorites. I'm thinking this is 15, 16, 17-point win. They run away from the get-go, get enough arm separation, and that's as far as it goes.
Well, because I think if they get up at a point that's like 17-7 or 24-7, something like that, dude, LSU might lay down because I don't think they're confident that they can put up one more than that.
Another 2:30 game. Auburn at Texas A&M. A&M defensively has not looked great. Offensively has looked incredible. Marcel Reed just down the road here at Nashville has looked really good. Auburn, what a tough loss. Now you got to go right back to Big 12 country, old Big 12 country, and face Texas A&M. Total points 52.5. Like we talked about last night on Exports Live. This might be over 70 by the end.
It really could be because
neither defense is good and both offenses are.
Well, last year was the 5 overtime, 4 overtime thriller.
Yeah.
I think turnovers are going to play a big part in this game, and for the same reason that I mentioned it for the Memphis Arkansas game on Mark My Words last week was the fact that if Auburn can get a stop and keep Texas A&M from scoring a couple of drives, they might be able to keep up with them because Texas A&M's defense has not looked good. Their offense has looked really good, but you take a possession or two away from them, that could really turn the tide of this game.
And it's at A&M. That place is going to be rocking. Hugh Freeze really needs a big win like this because there's going to be a lot of jobs open in the SEC. Auburn's going to be the first to pull the trigger. They always are. So, you need something.
Because you lose this one, you get a bye week, but you come out against Georgia.
Yeah, you need some sort of mojo. And then the big one, Bama at I should have said a joke. A big one, Kentucky and South Carolina. We'll get into that later. But Bama at Georgia. And we know what Georgia is. We know they can play in a slugfest. They can play in a shootout. They just proved it a couple weeks ago at
which
Tennessee.
is terrifying for the rest of the SEC.
But Bama's, I think they've gotten some things together. I think they learned a lot from that Florida State debacle. I'm not making an excuse. I do think that they really didn't know what Florida State team was going to show up, and they obviously didn't handle it well. But I think they're going to be better prepared. I still think Georgia wins, but I think Bama covers. They're 3.5-point dogs. I can see this being a last-second kick win for Georgia.
It really could be. I mentioned it last night on X Sports Live. I think getting Tim Keenan back for Alabama is huge because Georgia kind of makes their hay running the ball and kind of trying to, show you how dominant they really are. I think a first-round pick like Keenan can keep you from doing that. I think Ty Simpson's looks great. Obviously, didn't look as great against Florida State. Did look much better against their past couple opponents that, again, haven't been to the tier of Georgia. But I think building that confidence up leading into that game, getting some guys back from injury, I think that's going to be huge for Alabama.
Another, we'll go ahead and talk Kentucky and South Carolina. I'm thinking, South Carolina for 5.5 or 7.5 point favorites in that game. Kentucky's at 2-1, 0-1, which was a close loss at home to Ole Miss. If Kentucky goes in there and South Carolina all of a sudden sitting at 0-3 in the SEC, I'm thinking Shane Beamer's going, you know what, Blacksburg's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I would say I brought it up a couple weeks ago, and we're like, I think he might not want to live in his father's shadow. I think if you
he'll have a job.
Yeah, I about to say I think he'll be happy to take a job if he loses this one. And listen, what we've seen from Kentucky hasn't been terrible. They're not going to throw the ball. They are going to run it right down your throat. Has South Carolina proved they could stop that? Because the only team they've played that's really run the ball, well, actually their last two games, there's two SEC losses. Vanderbilt ran the ball right down their throat, as did Missouri.
Yeah.
Well, and Kentucky's got two guys that are top 10 in the conference in rushing yards. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but watch out for Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, they've been known under Mark Stoops to kind of kick a team when they're down. They've done that a few times. Another game featuring an SEC team. I know Vandy's got Utah State. Utah State a little bit dangerous. Those Mountain West teams known to go on the road and pull some upsets no matter who they're playing in the Power Four. Missouri's got UMass. Okay, that's a win. They're 4-3.5 point favorites. But Notre Dame and Arkansas is interesting because Notre Dame, they're 1-2. Both of their losses are to top 10 teams by
combined 4 points.
Combined 4 points. Dominated Purdue last week at home. They go to Arkansas. Believe it or not, it's the first time they've ever played,
which feels weird.
Really weird, especially knowing what both programs, they have a really rich history, especially back 50s, 60s, 70s. And when Notre Dame would play teams like that, or at least find them in a bowl game, but they've never crossed paths. But I think that Notre Dame needs this game to keep, because the rest of the schedule after that, they got Boise State at home, and then they got NC State, USC, Syracuse. So those are the best three teams. They need this game in a big way, and I think Arkansas. Not just Arkansas, I think Sam Pittman needs this game, because if he can beat Notre Dame and knock them out of the playoff and get you more get you a little bit more momentum, especially you're 0-1 in the SEC right now, that's a big thing for him.
Yeah, this game's going to be a lot like the Texas A&M Notre Dame game was. There's going to be a lot of points, hopefully not a bunch of bad calls that end up screwing a team out of a win, but it is the SEC, so that's quite likely. I think both of these teams are in interesting points. For Notre Dame defensive coordinator Chris Ash, they brought him in after losing Al Golden to the NFL, and he has not been it. And you look at the past couple of Notre Dame's defensive coordinators. Al Golden is now the defensive coordinator for the Bengals. Marcus Freeman is the head coach at Notre Dame. Clark Lee is the head coach at Vanderbilt. And Mike Elko is the head coach at Texas A&M. So that job has a good track record. I think they need a big win. And then if Arkansas loses this game, from the way I've read from Arkansas fans, it and some insiders, it looks like they are, if it comes to it, completely ready to get Pittman out the door and give their offensive coordinator the interim job back. And nothing bad ever happens when Bobby Petrino's at Arkansas.
Just as long as he's not on motorcycles with interns, that's all that matters. And look at Arkansas's remaining schedule. You think they really need this game, because after that they're at Tennessee, then they're home versus A&M, home versus Auburn, home versus Mississippi State, at LSU, at Texas, home versus Missouri.
Yeah, it's a rough stretch.
That's a rough stretch, and you need any sort of momentum going into the rest of that.
Yeah, when we were doing our preseason schedule predictions for Arkansas, I remember saying if they lose this game to Ole Miss, it's going to be a long fall in Razorback country, and Saturday is the last chance they have to turn that around before conference play.
Let's get in the Big Ten. USC at Illinois. USC's looking way better than expected. Illinois is, whew.
One bad week, but that bad week was really bad. Yeah.
As bad as it, like, that might be, you could go 11-1, and people, that might knock you out of the playoff.
It really might. It's like, okay, so this team, let's say Indiana's 9-3 at that point or something. It's like, okay, so this team's outside of the playoff, and they beat you by 53.
Yeah.
That's, This is an interesting game. Yeah. I think it's going to be probably the ugliest game of the day. You got USC, who's traveling from 3 time zones over. You have Illinois, who just lost by 53 points, and it's an 11 a.m. kickoff.
Yeah. Whew.
I mean, that has disaster.
9 o'clock USC, because Illinois is in the Central Time Zone.
Yeah, so it's gonna be that. I think that's gonna be a tough watch. But go big noon kickoff.
USC 6.5 point favorites. I think Illinois covers.
I do too.
Think that might.
I think Illinois might win straight up. I don't.
I'm
think,
with you
because I don't think those teams that travel well, the travel have not played well.
And Lincoln Riley teams normally don't handle rushing offenses well.
Or a big physical team. So I mean, they're going to have their strength really tested.
Rutgers at Minnesota. Both teams need a big win there. Ohio State at Washington. Washington is one of the nation's longest home win streaks. Ohio State went to the West Coast last year, lost at Oregon. A Jeff Fish coach Washington team, they're doing a big thing at the stadium. Who isn't this week at this point? But that's a big one. The Buckeyes, this is going to be outside of Texas, their first real big, it's the first Big Ten game, so it's their first Big Ten test. And, man, this is Washington, no matter how good or how bad they are, that is not an easy place to play.
Well, they got and I've heard other people say this. They think that they have the best quarterback, running back, and wide receiver trio in the country. DeMond Williams, we saw what he did last year. Yeah. Washington went 6-6 last year. Did not lose a game at home. Now, they didn't win a game on the road, but they won every game they played at home. Right. Jonah Coleman's already got 350 yards on the year. He's 9 touchdowns from their running back is insane. Wow. And then Denzel Boston's already got 250 receiving yards. I think they have an interesting trio there that makes it where you can't really take one of those guys away without making the other one look really good.
I wonder if we heard that before. Washington's got a really good trio. Last time that happened, they went all the way to the national championship.
Exactly.
Game. Indiana, Iowa, contrast to styles here. Iowa's actually putting up points against non-Power 4 teams, but you said averaging 33 points per game against everyone that's not Iowa State. Indiana, their defense looked really good against Illinois. They're going to face a very similar attack to what Iowa's going to bring. But again, how many times we have seen teams on an absolute tear go into Iowa City and play awful.
Kinnick's a tough place to play. I don't know what it is about there because it doesn't really seem like it would be that crazy of an environment, but I think this is a really big kind of a trap game, a look-ahead game, because Indiana, they have a bye week coming up, so obviously it's okay. Guys, let's get some rest. Got a game at Oregon after that.
They need it.
Indiana needs to take care of this game and move on because I could see a look-ahead game being a big loss that they don't need to take.
Yeah. And Iowa does have Penn State and Oregon on the schedule, but Nebraska, Michigan State, Minnesota, Wisconsin.
A lot of winnable games.
That's winnable. I mean, you play your cards right. You win this one, and then you're looking at 2 others. It's a non-10-win team, and you might, because Oregon comes to you. Actually, both of them come to them.
Yeah.
You're due one of those.
At least. I feel like they haven't gotten a big upset at home in forever. They're due.
Yeah. The other 2:30 Big Ten game, UCLA at Northwestern.
Dude, that's going to be an awesome game. Somebody's going to look good in this one. Maybe. I don't know. They should probably. Well, I'd say they should just tie, but this isn't the NFL, so somebody actually has to win this one.
Wow. Northwestern. I can't even say it. Northwestern, 6.5 point favorites, 44.5 total points. I don't know, man. I think UCLA wins it. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that's going to be the one where they kind of right the ship for a week, then get knocked back to earth the next week. But, man, if they lose that one.
They might not win a game.
Look at that schedule. I've looked at it several times. There's nothing in the world. If you're losing to New Mexico, there's nothing in the world that's telling you you're going to beat
because you lost your 3 non-conference games. Those are usually your best chances to win a game.
They've got Penn State at home. Then they're at Michigan State, home versus Maryland. Then they got Indiana, Nebraska, Ohio State, Washington, USC. There's nothing in there telling you if you don't win this that you're going to win another game.
I think Maryland's got a chance to be that not as good, but I think they have a chance to be that surprise Big Ten team like Indiana was last year. I think they could shock some people.
And then the nightcap, the big one, man. Whiteout. Finally, hey, I'm glad that this is a night game.
Thank you, NBC.
Thank you, Peacock. We love you.
And they have done a great job scheduling games this year. All of their night
Peacock's
games.
killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing a really good job.
Oregon I will say Big Noon's got USC, Illinois. That's a good one. But Oregon at Penn State, last night Dusty said it, and I'm getting the same feels here. This feels like a James Franklin game, and not for all the right reasons.
He's gonna have his moment. It's gonna come, and like I said last night as well, I think this is gonna be a moment where we get to the fourth quarter and they're down 4 or 5 points. It's 4th and 2, and they try some stupid trick play that was blown up from the start, and then you look over at James Franklin on the sidelines, and he's just sitting there just chewing his gum, whatever.
There's going to be a weird 4th and 2, like the other team's 19-yard line, and you just run a straight handoff up the middle for a 2-yard loss. You're down 28-24, no timeouts remaining. That certainly has a feel to it, but I think, and he struggles, and all of these moments come at home.
Yeah. He never does it on the road.
Yeah. It's really, outside of that one Minnesota loss where they just got boat raced, all of these, these issues happen at home. So that kind of makes me feel like this has got a James Franklin game written all over it. Going to the ACC Friday night is interesting. Florida State is at Virginia. Virginia can put up a lot of points, but Florida State 3-0. Proven to be the real deal so far, especially after beating Bama at home. 6.5-point favorites, total points 60.5, and I think they're going to go north of that.
So I saw something about this game. I don't know if it was true or not. I read it that Tony Elliott asked his guys and said, "How many of you want to play professionally? Want to play after this?" And a bunch of them raised their hand, and he goes, "Well, this is as close as you're going to get with the team they're stepping on the field with Friday night." And this just has that Miami Virginia Tech game feel to it. It feels like Florida State might play a little ugly. Virginia might hit a couple big plays, and you look down there at the end, and it's 20-14, and Virginia's got the ball with 2 minutes and a timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. Some other games: Georgia Tech at Wake Forest. Georgia Tech 13.5-point favorites. I think Wake Forest covers, but Georgia Tech wins because Robbie Ashford, pretty good quarterback. He just doesn't have anything around him.
No.
Duke at Syracuse is interesting. Syracuse coming off that big win at Clemson, but you lose your quarterback in Angeli. For the rest of the year, Duke has got some momentum after that big upset against NC State. That's an interesting one at Syracuse. We know what Duke is now. We don't know what Syracuse is going to be with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, and I'm really confident in the guy. I think he's going to come out and have a good game. I just don't think this Duke team I feel like they spent their entire NIL collective on Darian Mensah and forgot that you had to get other guys to play with them. I think Syracuse will handle this one. I didn't think they looked very good against Tennessee, but really ever since then, they kind of slipped up against UConn. But since then, they have been head full of steam running through everybody.
Louisville at Pitt, they're 3-0. Pitt's 2-1. I wonder who they lost to. I'm not sure. But honestly, I'm taking Pitt in this because Louisville never plays good there, like ever. I don't care how good Louisville is; they never play good at Pitt at all. You got Cal at Boston College. Cal's a surprising team, sitting at 3-1. Do have that good win against Minnesota. They go to Boston College, who has got a pretty good quarterback in Longer, and that guy can
sling it.
He can sling it, and he can get it done. I think Boston College wins that one.
Cal,
despite 6.5-point favorites.
I'm gonna say Cal, despite being 3-1, their loss last week was so bad that might be one that can beat you twice. You lost 34-0 to a team from the Mountain West that we just mentioned how dangerous they are, San Diego State.
Yeah. NC State at home against Virginia Tech. I think they cover. Their 9.5-point favorites. Carter Finley's so tough to play, especially after you fired your coach. They're
1-0 without him.
Well, that was Wofford. Let's go to the Big 12 finally here. Big one, just one big one on Friday night. TCU at Arizona State. We know how good Hoover is, 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, but I think Arizona State is starting to get a bit of that mojo back.
Yeah, and they're running the ball really well. I think Sam Levitt looks a lot more confident throwing the ball. I thought after the Mississippi State game, they may just tie his arms behind his back, but since then, I think he's bounced back really well. I think the whole team really has, and despite being 3-1 without a number next to their name, I think that they're probably one of the better teams that's not ranked.
Houston's got Oregon State, which Oregon State might be the next team that fires a coach. That guy's in just such a. I feel bad for him.
It was a lose-lose job.
It was a lose-lose job.
Because as soon as the Pac-2 whole thing came out, Jonathan Smith and Aiden Childs took off for East Lansing, and
he's in a bad spot, and I feel bad for him.
Well, just for right now, nobody wants to play in the Pac-2.
Yeah, it still says Pac-12.
Yeah.
But they'll get back to it.
Yeah.
I just think they're in a bad spot. 11 a.m. Cincinnati, Kansas. I think Kansas rolls there. Kansas is so good right now.
I think this is when we're going to start getting the Scott Satterfield on the hot seat again talk.
UCF at Kansas State, even though UCF has looked pretty good, I think Kansas State wins because they need a bounce-back game horribly bad.
Yeah, I have – Ireland treated them about as well as it treated Florida State.
Right.
I mean, you lost last week to an Arizona team that really only has Noah Fafita and nothing else. Yeah. But, man, UCF – I don't know. They run the ball a lot. Mm-hmm. And earlier in the week, they lost their offensive line coach. He had some sort of medical emergency, and he passed throughout the week.
Sean Clark.
But great
West
coach.
Virginian, so I got to know him a little bit.
Yeah, great coach. I think UCF's going to win this one for Coach Clark. Okay. I'm going to go with the Golden Knights.
All right, I like your thinking there. Baylor at Oklahoma State, I think Baylor's just going to go in. They're 20.5-point favorites. They might not cover, but I think it's a double-digit win. Arizona at Iowa State, certainly an interesting one. Two undefeated teams. Arizona's been a little bit better than expected, but man, you're going into Iowa State at night, which is like that's the Big 12's Death Valley. You're not winning there.
How about say, and going back to Oklahoma State, Iowa State is the reason that Mike Gundy never got to play for a national championship, and it was
Friday night.
That Friday night game in Ames.
I've watched every play of that game with Marshall's football team, and all of us just sat there in awe because that's when Paul Rhodes was the head coach, and he always gave you one a year, and it was always at night. At Ames. It was every time. BYU at Colorado, Deion Sanders saying that's a revenge game. I think BYU's got something a lot of people didn't think after Retzlaff left. I think they found kind of...
Yeah, Bear Bachmeier's been a great quarterback for them.
He's great. He's done really good. And Utah's at West Virginia. They're 12.5-point favorites. I'm not saying West Virginia wins, but I think it's way closer than 12.5.
Yeah, I feel like people are really did we not see what they did to Pitt? And Pitt's a good team.
Yeah.
That's not a bad Pitt team. I think West Virginia's got a good defense, and look at what Utah's coming off of, and they got a long trip.
And you got to go to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Morgantown's going to be rocking.
Oh yeah.
And I think Rich has got something there at home. Where we were talking about Washington State, I think it's one of those years where West Virginia's undefeated at home. They
might,
which I'm okay with. At least you get in the bowl game that way. That's not the worst thing in the world. Well, Mike, coming up next, we're going to head into the world of the NFL. That will be when we return here on Exports Today.
Hey everyone, this is Landon Saunders.
And this is Nate Patterson with Cloud9 Fiber.
We're excited to finally be able to offer Lawrenceburg our blazing fast, reliable, and affordable fiber internet services.
If you're looking for a more reliable and more affordable provider, we at Cloud9 Fiber have you covered.
Plans start at $50 a month, and we can offer up to a gigabit to your home or business.
We are excited to be able to offer your first month of service entirely free. We encourage you to sign up on cloud9fiber.com or by calling 931-201-9098 so we can help you make the switch today.
For the best meal from south of the border, head to Cocina Real and Puente Grande for lunch and dinner. With a wide array of mouth-watering entrees, there's something for everyone on the menu. And you can't forget the cheese dip. They'll treat you like family, and you'll never leave hungry. Make Cocina Real Mexican Restaurant and Puente Grande Mexican Restaurant your choice for authentic cuisine, located in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretta, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome back to X Sports Today, our football preview show. We go to the world of the NFL, Mike, and taking a look, Thursday night, I hate to say it, man. Just get the NFL off Thursday night. That should be all college football. Make Thursday night football great again.
Yes.
Another rant for another time. Seahawks at Cardinals. It's an interesting one. Seahawks right now, 1.5 favorites, but honestly, I think they go in there and they roll.
Yeah, I think they'll look a lot better, obviously. Seattle's offense has looked pretty good this year. Yeah. Obviously, we didn't look week one against San Francisco, but that defense has been stout. But they went and put 31 up on the Steelers. They went and put 44 up on the Saints. The Saints have been playing people close the first 2 weeks. To actually go in there and blow them out, I think that shows that this Seahawks team might not be one to mess around with. And, man, they got some young studs. Like Jackson Smith and Jigba has been awesome for them.
Yeah, 323 yards, 22 catches already. Going to Sunday, early morning, 8:30, because they're in Ireland. Vikings at the Steelers. I think the Vikings have found some with Carson Wentz, and the Steelers are just lucky to be 2-1 right now. And in all honesty, they've gotten some breaks against some bad teams from the AFC East, and I think they're just so robotic with Aaron Rodgers offensively. I think if Wentz can do like they did last week. Vikings, I think, come out of that pretty comfortably. They're 2.5-point favorites, but if they play it right, they win by a touchdown or two.
Yeah, and the Aaron Rodgers experience looked really good week one, and then after that, it's just looked. They got over the Patriots last weekend, but that's the Patriots. Mike Vrabel hasn't practiced with this team in pads since August, so it's just weird.
I think Vrabel's a little overrated, if you ask me.
He might be.
I don't know. It's just something about guys that want to smart off reporters and act like they're the smartest people in the world. Like, dude, you're not a rocket scientist. Okay, like that guy can smart me off. I don't care. But you're a football coach. Like, get over yourself. More noon slate games. Commanders at the Falcons. They got Washington a 1.5 favorite, but man, the way the Falcons looked last week,
that loss was worth 3 losses.
And knowing that they're not typically good at home, there's nothing to convince me that Washington is not just a 1.5 better.
I don't understand how Atlanta's not good. They have so many pieces, and I don't know if it's the coaching, if it's locker room drama or what, but they're just not good. They should be, and they're not. It's sad. It really is.
Yeah. Saints and Bills are 15.5-point favorites. That game's not even worth talking about.
Go Josh Allen.
Yeah. You got the Browns at the Lions, and the Browns picked up a huge win against Green Bay, who thumped the Lions in week 1. But man, ever since then, the Lions offensively, over 40 points in back-to-back games against, not bad comp. The Bears aren't great, but man, to put up what they did against the Ravens. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Jared Goff really is, because obviously there was the narrative last year. It's like, dude, he is just a game manager and this, that, and the other. Dude, if you go in and put 38 up on Baltimore, I get their defense isn't as good this year, but you're legit.
Yeah, they looked really, really good in that game. But again, typically the Browns don't really travel all that well. No. I think the Lions 9.5-point favorites. I think they cover in them more. Carolina at New England. Carolina off that big win. Let's see if they can carry some momentum over. If they do, I take a lot of confidence in that, and especially because the Patriots have given us no confidence about anything at this point.
Yeah, Drake May's throwing it all over the yard, but that's really all they've got to show. The Panthers are young. They're exciting. They got a lot of pieces. Obviously, you got Bryce Young. You got Tedero McMillan from Arizona. You got a lot of young pieces. I don't know if they're going to be able to go into Gillette and get a big win there, but it's an interesting game. It's a Super Bowl rematch from a couple years ago.
Absolutely.
Well, more like 20 years ago, but
well, it is what it is.
It's a Super Bowl rematch, though.
It's one of the best ones I ever watched. I loved it. Another noon game. 3-0 Chargers at the 0-3 Giants. Jackson Dart getting the start, but man, the Chargers are really starting to prove to everybody this is what they could be under Justin Herbert.
Yeah, obviously it sucks losing Najee Harris with the Achilles injury, and New York's going to Jackson Dart, who I guess can throw a better duck than Russell Wilson, because obviously that's the Giants' offense. It's hand it off to Cam Scatterbo two or three times and then chuck it to the end zone, and if all right, we'll punt, or if we catch it, okay, touchdown. It feels like Brian Daboll has completely given up. Before the season even started. he will probably not be the coach of Jackson Dart for much longer.
I heard someone make the joke in that game against the Chiefs. It's like someone kept calling the play for Russell Wilson to try to hit the crossbar.
That's what it looked like.
From,
I mean,
you know, all those chances they had to get touchdowns, and it just looked like every throw was like in the way it came out of his hands. It didn't, you know, how most guys throw it, and it will have some or sometimes online. Like it
just goes straight up. Yeah,
it's like someone hits a pop up on the infield. Another noon game. I don't know why anyone would watch this, but Titans at 0-3 Titans at the 0-3 Texans. It's our lowest total number.
So turn it on Fox at noon, everybody.
Or don't. Or it's a CBS.
Yeah, it's the CBS game. So turn it on Fox, and then maybe you'll get a better one there.
38.5. But yes, turn it on Fox because it's the Eagles and the Buccaneers, and that's
much better.
Much better. That's probably our game of the day.
Yeah. Eagles, Bucks. I mean, listen. Baker Mayfield's playing with a lot of swagger. I mean, he's almost like Oklahoma Baker again. I mean, he's taking time out of being injured to go celebrate in a guy's face. But man, Philly's come out and looks like they won the Super Bowl last year. I mean, they've responded really well. They've come out, they've beat good teams. I mean, you look at their schedule. Obviously, the Cowboys aren't what the Cowboys are, but you get a win against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. You have that big comeback last week against the Rams. I think you're set up in a good spot, but Tampa's a tough place to play.
Yeah, and especially with Baker, when that crowd's rolling, it's tough to go. The 3:05 slot, Niners hosting the Jaguars, and there's no more beat-up team in the NFL than the 49ers, but they are 3-0, 1-0 at home. They do both 2 of the 3 wins are against division teams. We know Jacksonville never travels well. Trevor Lawrence is having a bit of a resurgence this year, but he's thrown 4 touchdowns to 4 picks. With the 49ers defense, they're 3.5-point favorites. I think they cover and more in that game.
Yeah, you talk about the Niners are beat up, but they also beat you up too. So it's not going to be an easy one for Jacksonville to walk in there for. And look, Mac Jones didn't look great last Sunday, but I think once he starts getting some more starts under him, especially against a defense like Jacksonville that hasn't looked great, build up some confidence.
That last drive on one leg, leading them down to win the game when literally that team did everything they could to lose it and still found a way to win. I'm happy. I mean, I did not see even a fully healthy team. I did not see us 3-0 right now.
No,
so
not one bit.
I'm thrilled. Colts and Rams. Wow, the surprising 3-0 Colts with MVP Daniel Jones. Oh man, if that doesn't get Brian Daboll fired on its own, I don't know what does, but they're at the Rams, and the Rams will look good outside of that one. Well, let's face it.
They lost to the Eagles.
They blew that game to the Eagles as well.
I would say I think this may be our game of the day because Tampa Bay is a little beat up, but man, I mean, you got probably the most exciting quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Surprisingly, you got 2 of the best young running backs in the NFL with Jonathan Taylor and Kyren Williams, and you got 2 really good offenses. I don't know what we're going to see out of either defense, but I think this could be a fun one to watch in the afternoon slot.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the other 3:05 games, Bears at the Raiders, and this is a game. This is a matchup of quarterbacks. I don't know what we're going to get out of this bunch. I don't think
Geno's second in the NFL in passing yards, but the Raiders are 1-2 and don't look great at all. Their offensive line might be the worst I've ever seen. Because everybody's trying to rip Ashton Jeanty to shreds when he hasn't seen a hole since he was at Boise State.
I mean, his first game there, pretty good.
Yeah, it was all right.
After that, it's just been, whew, I don't know what team's going to show up here.
The Bears, I mean, they had that awful game against the Lions, and then they come back and look great against the Cowboys. Yeah. If we see that team that played the Cowboys again, the Bears are 2-2. But if we see a team that walked in that tried to play either the Vikings or the Lions, it's going to be a long week for the Bears.
Absolutely. That's our only other. Oh no, Ravens and
the
Chiefs.
Big one.
I forgot about that one. And who would have thought the Ravens Chiefs could be for who's going to go to 1-3 and who's going to go to 2-2?
Yeah, I mean both teams are not playing like we're used to them playing. We're used to the Chiefs to being a fun offense and stuff like that. I mean they look pedestrian. Yeah. The Ravens defense we're used to hard hitting, forcing turnovers, and now they can't stop anything. Right. So I think it's going to be a contrasting play styles. But I really am curious to see what Steve Spagnuolo has drawn up for the Ravens because Ravens offense looked really good, but the Chiefs defense, man, I mean. Listen, Russell Wilson looked really good the first 2 weeks of the season, and after he played the Chiefs, he got benched.
Right.
So, I mean, that defense is legit.
And the Ravens defense isn't. Yeah. It just is what it is. They have not been good for the first 3 weeks, and they've been lucky. They played the Browns.
But they do have an offense with the Chiefs that's been a bit sluggish to try to get your step back.
Yeah. Packers at the Cowboys off. Wow, Micah Parsons visits week number 4. But the Cowboys just looked awful. We don't know if CeeDee Lamb's going to be healthy or not. That's a big thing there. The Packers, after that horrible performance at Cleveland, I mean, both of these teams played awful last week, and they find themselves. Packers Cowboys is always going to be Sunday Night Football, but this is certainly an interesting one here.
Yeah, it really is an interesting game because the Packers have by far, they probably have the best win and the worst loss in the NFL at the same time. Yeah. The Cowboys, I mean, Joe Milton looked all right in the last 5 minutes of the game. Dak just has nothing around him. Right. I mean, it is crazy how spoiled they were for riches when he was young, when they had Dez and they had a young Zeke Elliott and still had Jason Witten running around. I mean, and now he's got a banged up CeeDee Lamb, and I mean Jake Ferguson's been really good for them at tight end, but. I mean, what else do you got?
They've got nothing. I mean, it has the makings for Green Bay to go in there and just boat race them. We've got 2 games on Monday Night Football. The Jets at the Dolphins. We all know what the Dolphins are, but Jets are 0-3. But, Mike, they've got 2 2-point losses to the Steelers and the Bucs, who are combined. Look, you've got 2 3-0 teams and 1 2-1 team in their first 3 games, and they could have and should have beat the Steelers and the Bucs. This team could easily be sitting going into this game at 2-1, or at least 1-2, but they're 0-3.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed that the WNBA Finals ends the night before, so I guess I'll have to watch that. That's going to be a tough watch until the Bengals and Broncos start. Yeah. I mean, neither one of those teams have anything positive to look forward to.
I mean, Miami's 2.5-point favorites. Does Vegas know something we don't?
Miami has never looked good on Monday Night Football.
No.
So. I mean, Tua's probably going to throw a pick 6. Justin Fields, I don't know if he's healthy or not yet. So
I think the Jets have played a really tough schedule. I mean, like off the top of my head, the combined 3 teams are 8-1.
Yeah, and Steelers, Bills, and Bucs.
And you had the lead late in the fourth quarter in both of those games. You should have won those, so they could be easily 2-1, at least 1-2 at this point.
Yeah, really talking completely different about them at that point.
And I think they play hard for Aaron Glenn. I think they get this one. I think they win big as well. Bengals and Broncos is different. The Broncos, I think a lot of people thought they would be 3-0 in this spot right now. They're 1 wins against Tennessee, and they look awful in that game.
But they've lost their 2 games by a combined 4 points as well. So
and the Bengals, man, they need something big here because you're not going to get Joe Burrow back until late November, maybe early December. They need to get to that point because I'm just looking at the schedule. I mean,
they're 2-1 and their point differential is -33.
Yeah. The NFL, it is what it is. If you can get to the Ravens game on the 27th of November and get Joe Burrow and play 500 ball, I like your chances to get in the playoffs. But they just need. I mean, you got the Broncos, and they're home versus the Lions, and they're at the Packers, home versus Steelers.
I think they got a little stretch there in the middle of the season. Steelers, Jets, Bears, Steelers, Patriots, where they could rattle off a couple games.
Yeah. And if they can get there 500, maybe a game over, I like their chances of getting the playoffs. But, man, they need this one bad.
Yeah, they just looked bad last week. The Broncos kind of have a strange feeling because they feel like they should be 3-0, and have looked pretty good with Bo Nix. Yeah. It's just – both of these teams are kind of a step away from being what they want to be. Which team's going to make that step tomorrow night or Monday night? Pardon.
I wish it was tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish it was tomorrow night. Well, Mike, good show here this afternoon. That will do it for our football preview. We'll have our pregame high school football special getting you ready for week 6.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're actually talking about that. We do have a game tonight, Lawrence County at home against Tullahoma. We also have an Alabama game, Lauderdale County at Brooks. That's going to be really good.
That should be a good one to watch.
Keep your eye on that one. Those 2 teams are very similar, pretty good rivals. That should be a lot of fun. So for Michael Marks, this is AJ Good here on the X Sports Network. Have a great day. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.